I owe £3.7 million to the bank and I'm the happiest I've ever been. My name's Abby Hookway. 8 years ago, I was living life like everyone told me to live. I'd been to school, got a good job, worked up the career ladder, bought a house, was paying off my mortgage, paying into my pension, having kids, doing everything that everyone tells you to do. The problem behind all that was I was heavily in debt and I was really unhappy working all the time. I figured out how debt could help me build and scale a portfolio that gives me passive income so I don't need to work. And this is the thing, you've been told the biggest lie ever. We've been told all debt is bad, and that's so untrue. So debt is money that you borrow, typically from a bank. You have to repay it and you pay it, and the bank charges you interest for giving you that money. Now, did you know there's two types of debt? We've been told since childhood by our parents, by our teachers, that all debt is bad, and that's so wrong. It isn't. There are two types, and there's good debt and there's bad debt. So bad debt is what we would call consumer debt. So it's where you've got into debt for something like a new sofa, a new car, maybe a new TV, maybe you've put holidays on your credit cards. That's consumer debt. Those products or items or holidays, they're never going to give you money. They just are what they are, and you're going to owe them. Good debt, on the other hand, is debt where you invest in something that's going to give you money. So if you were a farmer and you got into debt to buy a new tractor, that would be good debt, because that new tractor is going to allow you to farm better, make more money, be more efficient. That is good debt. For someone like me, I invest in properties and I get mortgages on the properties, and they're good debt, because the properties enable me to make passive income, which allows me to live life how I want. And that's why I don't work a traditional 9-to-5 job. So here's how I leverage debt, all £3.7 million worth of it. Step number one, shift your mindset. Most people buy a house and they panic because they want to get that mortgage paid down and paid off. But they're stressing about the wrong thing, because that mortgage is good debt. It's based on an asset. You've got a house that's continually going up in value. And in 10, 20 years time, when your house has doubled and tripled, will you be concerned about that little mortgage? I don't think you will. What I want you to do is I want you to shift your mindset. So most of us are told all debt's bad, get rid of debt. And I was told this from being young. I was told you get on the property ladder, you get your first house, you get a mortgage, and you pay down the mortgage as fast as you can. Wrong, wrong, wrong. If you shift your mindset to debt actually helps you, it changes from wanting to pay down your mortgage really fast, because why do we do that? Because property on average doubles every 10 years. So in 10 years time, when your property's doubled, are you going to be concerned about that mortgage? Because that mortgage's debt ratio is going down. So the loan to value on the house is going down as that asset increases. So having the mortgage is helping you have a home, but an asset going up in value. It's making you money while you live in it. So why are we worried about paying it off? What I want you to shift your mindset to is, how can you leverage that? How can you use more of it? Can you take more money out of your house to go and invest to make more income? So step number two, leverage equity from your property. Say you have a property and you've got 300,000 worth of equity in it. What I want you to do is I want you to take maybe 200,000 of that equity out. So it leaves 100,000 in your home to keep you safe. That's sorted. Take that 200,000 and I want you to go invest that 200,000. Now there's three ways you can take it out. You can do a full remortgage of the whole property, pay any existing mortgage off, pull out the money. If you don't have a mortgage on it, you just put a new mortgage on it, release that money. Number two, you can do something called a further advance, where you go to your original mortgage provider and you say to them, hi, I want to take more money out, and they give you a further advance on your existing mortgage. Or number three, keep the mortgage where it is, and then you can have a second homeowner's loan on there and release the money that way. So 3 ways to release it, but release it out, and that gives you a pot of 200,000. Now that 200,000 can be used to buy 2 buy-to-lets. Using a mortgage, you can buy 2 £400,000 properties. And typically we'll see anything from £500 to £700 net profit if you're just using the 2 properties for buy-to-let. So step number 3, use that capital, that lazy money in your house, to buy income generating assets like property. Step number 4, create a monthly passive income. So you can take that 100,000, put it into 2 properties that you're gonna use as buy-to-let. So you'd have buy-to-let mortgages for the 300,000, 100,000 worth of your money going in there, and you've got 2 400,000 assets, that's 800,000 worth of property in your portfolio, they should give you anything from £500 to £700 net profit a month. So say minimum £1,000 net passive income coming to your bank. That's one way of using it. The second way is, again, split it into 2 pots of 100,000 and put it into 2 commercial properties and have, again, a portfolio of just under £1 million of commercial property. You could also invest them in 2 holiday homes, running Airbnb. And a typical Airbnb will give you £2,000 to £3,000 a month. So if you invest it into 2 of those, learned how to do it, did it right, that could give you a passive income of over £6,000 a month. There's so many different ways you can do with it. But the key is to release the money, invest it in assets and produce the income. So step number 5, grow your asset base. So you've taken your own home, you've taken the lazy equity, you've put it into 2 assets worth over 800,000, plus you've got your own home. That's going to take you over £1 million worth of property. And remember what property does? It typically doubles every 10 years because we've got a massive demand on housing in the UK. What I want you to do, leave them running, see how they do. When they've got equity in them, take the equity back out again in a few years' time, use it to invest in more. And that's how you can use £200,000 worth of equity and build a huge portfolio over the years for you, legacy for any children you've got. So why this works? You've used leverage. So you've leveraged the asset that you own, your own house, you've taken the lazy money, the equity out of it, and you've used it to buy more assets. Assets that go up in value over time and give you a passive income. This is all to do with good debt. Leveraging good debt to help you make more money. A passive income where you can quit your job, you can retire early, you can do what you want, or just have extra money so you can have extra holidays, whatever it is for you. You're also building a portfolio for your future. So you could even retire early or just know when it comes to retirement you're going to be okay. And then you're building assets that you can hand down generation after generation. So tell me, how do you feel about being 3.7 million in debt now? So come along to my free 90-minute workshop where I'll show you exactly how to do this, how to find the right properties, how to fund the properties, because we've only gone over one way of funding today, and then we'll show you how to leverage, build a big portfolio that's going up in value and giving you a passive income. Thanks so much for joining me today. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you like the video, and let me know how you would feel about being 3.7 million in debt, understanding good debt and bad debt.